Do you have that one special person or people you just can't stop thinking about? It's sometimes difficult to concentrate on tasks and stay present because your mind starts to wander back at them. You just seem to have this hyper focus on them. You can't take them out of your mind. Hello, it's Green again. I came across this video that explains how having a crush affects your brain and what's the psychology behind having a romantic and/or sexual interest in someone. While I was watching it, what was funny to me was that even though I could relate to most of the points they made in the video, when it comes to fictional characters. Don't get me wrong, I have had crushes on real life people as well, but never really like serious ones. You know, those crushes that you read about in books or see in movies and stories where you have like butterflies and everything and it feels meaningful and it's like a deep connection crush. I don't know how to explain it better. But when it comes to fictional characters, let's just say it can feel really intense. So, I want to react to a couple of videos about the psychology of having a crush, but through a lens of it's a fictional character crush, not necessarily a real life person that you can actually meet and is like, you know, real. Okay, let's start with 6 stages of having a crush. This video is made by Psych2Go. Actually, all of the 3 videos that I'm going to be showing you guys and reacting to are made by these people. I'm going to be linking all of the videos in the description and also their channel. They make all kinds of psychology videos in their channel, not just like these romantic interest ones. Let's see, what are 6 stages of having a crush?
Hey Psych2Goers, are you crushing on someone right now? Liking someone can be incredibly confusing and frustrating
Hell yeah.
because it can either end in love or heartbreak. But it's also one of the most fun.
But that's the good thing about fictional character crushes, because they cannot really break your heart because they're not real, so they can't really leave you, right? Except if the writers decide to kill them off or something, but well, okay, I think I had a good point and then it came crashing down. I'm sorry if I'm giving very violent flashbacks to people. Like, I'm sorry if your like fictional character crush is dead. Okay, let's just keep going.
And exciting things you could ever experience. So while there is no definitive theory yet about how we develop crushes and what we go through when we do, here at Psych2Go, we've done our best to come up with these 6 stages we believe everyone with a crush goes through. Stage 1, interest. So the story begins when you meet someone new for the first time and you feel intrigued by them. This stage can happen at any given moment. Sometimes it can be as quick as when you first lay your eyes on them, and other times it can take a while before you feel a spark. When you develop a crush on someone you've known for a long time, like a close friend, a lot of people tend to deny and debate with their feelings first before they can accept them. But the moment you do, you'll suddenly feel the pull of romantic attraction taking a hold of you, that there's something special about this person. That's when you move onto stage 2, curiosity.
It's when you see like a trailer of a game or a movie or something and you're like, hello, who is this? Or you see a random TikTok of a character and you're like, hello, who is this? This has kind of happened to me, I mean, so many times. But currently, like for example, in Baldur's Gate 3, you have the... is he like an elf or a vampire? I haven't played the game. But you know, the white-haired person, is he Astarion or something? Like, I think I saw a couple of TikToks and I'm like, I'm intrigued, yes. And now I would like to play the game just because of him. I think that's how they get you to play the game. Because like, okay, we're just gonna make this beautiful person. Like, you wanna meet him? Yeah, yeah.
Did you look up your crush's Facebook profile, browse through all their posts and tweets, and view their Instagram stories?
Just don't, I mean, I don't remember. Is there a setting on Pinterest if you can... yeah, there is. Like, you can have in your Pinterest board, like, is it public or not? But I have so many Pinterest boards like for Sherlock Holmes, for Good Omens. I wouldn't say that's stalking. You're just pinning more pictures because, they look pretty. I'm looking for reference pictures for drawing. That's all that it is. I'm just like calling myself out in this video, am I?
Maybe you even added them on one of their handles if you were feeling brave enough. You did all of this so that you could get a better idea about what kind of person they are, how much they have in common with you, and how compatible you'd be together. Once someone catches your eye, it's only natural to feel curious about them. You want to get to know them better. All their likes and dislikes, their hobbies, their dreams, their favorite things. Some people do this by simply going up to their crush and asking them about it, but others feel too flustered and nervous to even strike up a casual conversation. So that's where social media enters the story, like
Less
a knight
social
in
media for
shining
existing.
armor.
So many
Stage
photos
3,
and edits and everything.
infatuation. Now that you know for sure you have a crush on this person, next comes infatuation. And for many of us, this is the best part about having a crush. Because when you're infatuated with someone, your whole world starts to change. Everything seems so much brighter, more vibrant, and more beautiful to you now that you've found someone who makes you giddy with excitement every time you think about them.
That is so bizarre though, because it's like, I catch myself so many times just like thinking about a scene where this character has been like from a TV series, for example, and I'm just like smiling. For example, I saw someone playing violin on a park and I was like immediately thinking about Sherlock. Everything around you is just reminding you of that character. And it's so funny because this is about real life people. I think everything that we have gone through in this video so far, you could apply these to fictional crushes as well.
There's this never-ending flurry of butterflies fluttering in your stomach, and you always feel like you're floating on cloud 9 with each glance or each word of conversation you share with your crush. They send you a text message, and you feel like your whole day is made.
Oh, I
They
wish
make you
they
laugh,
could send
and the
you
memory
messages.
doesn't leave your mind for days. Even the mere mention of their name is enough to make you blush and swoon.
Why is that so relatable?
At this stage, everything seems perfect. Your crush is everything you ever wanted, and you just want this feeling to last forever. Then comes stage 4, sharing. You know you're really starting to get serious feelings about someone when you tell your friends about them.
Yeah. I filter a lot out that I'm not sharing, but it's, yeah. I love sharing about my hyper focuses, and I think it's a great way of finding people who are fans of the same stuff.
Of course, sometimes your friends can figure it out for themselves when you have a crush.
Oh, they
But
will know.
what matters most isn't that your friends already know, it's that you wanted to tell them about it regardless. You want to talk to your friends about how your crush makes you feel and tell them all the things you like about them. You want their advice about what to reply to your crush's text or what to say next time you see them. And you ask them what they think your crush meant when they told you this or that. You want their support and their encouragement, but also their honest opinion. And it's usually because of your friends that you slowly start to realize the flaws your crushes have, or where your relationship with them is going, which can end with you either heading to stage 5 or straight to stage 6.
Is this the scenario where your friends are like, dude, you need to fucking chill. Jesus, your hyper focus is taking up your life.
Stage 5, falling in love. To like and to love are two very different things. But sometimes your crush turns into something more and you find yourself falling in love with them. At this stage, your feelings for them are no longer clouding your judgment about them. You've stopped putting them on a pedestal and thinking of them as perfect, and instead, get to know them well and grow closer
Depends
to
on the
them in a
character.
way that allowed you to see them for who they really are. And if you're lucky enough that they feel the same way about you too, then you're on your way to starting a romantic relationship with your crush. Congratulations.
Oh, I
Stage
wish.
6, falling out of love. On the other hand, however, you may find yourself falling out of love with your crush after having seriously thought everything out between the two of you. Maybe you realize they aren't as great as you used to think, and it's made you lose interest in them. Or perhaps you feel that there's very little chance of them ever liking you back or seeing you as more than just a friend. Whatever the reason may be, it's made you reconsider your feelings and snap out of your crush. It may take some time before you can accept it, and depending on how strongly you once felt about them, it can be a painfully devastating thing to go through.
This is kind of like what it feels like. Actually, I'm not even joking. Every time I'm starting to sense that I'm starting to fall out of love, or just I realize that I'm no longer in a hyper focus on this character or this TV show, game, whatever, it feels really uncomfortable sometimes. Because sometimes you just kind of, it starts to fade away and you don't have anything new to replace it. Or then sometimes it's like, oh, there's this new thing, like a new game came out and now I have a hyper focus on that. I really love this character. I don't want to fall out of love with them. Like, obviously, I will always love that character. I will always come back to that. But if you have had a longer hyper focus, like months, that you're just drawing them, you are playing the game, you are watching the show or whatever, and then you realize that, oh no, I'm no longer like that invested in them, it really feels bad.
But once it's all over and you finally moved on, you'll thank yourself for ending it because deep down inside, you knew that this person wasn't right for you and that it just wasn't meant to be. Oh well, maybe the next one to come along will be better. Do you relate to any of the things mentioned here?
Oh yeah.
How does having a crush feel like for you? Can you identify the stage you're in right now? Do let us know in the comments below.
Do tell me in the comments, where do you place yourself in this graph? Seriously, it would be fun to hear your thoughts about this. Okay, now that we know that we do have a crush, we need to know 6 signs it's sexual tension, not just a crush.
You've had a crush for a while, but now you're starting to think it could be more than you really liking them. Has sexual tension developed between the two of you? Do they feel it too? Sex expert and relationship coach Carmel Jones explained to Cosmopolitan that sexual tension is basically the feeling that something sexual needs to happen to resolve the tension between two or more people. Relationship therapist and sex educator Rachel Wright also explained that it usually happens before any sexual contact is made, noting that sexual tension can linger for weeks or even years after contact is made. So how can we tell if this crush of yours feels that tension too? Or rather, how do you know if this is sexual tension or just butterflies in your stomach?
We will never know.
Here are some signs there's likely sexual tension between the two of you. Feeling euphoric? To the heart races. As your crush entered the room, usually before, you would get a gentle smile and butterflies in your stomach, but now there's something more between the two of you. Suddenly, you feel your heart start to race. According to Healthline, attraction causes a boost in the chemicals oxytocin, dopamine, and norepinephrine. This surge of chemicals can make you feel euphoric and cause physical reactions like me.
That's interesting because it's like when I have a very intense crush on a fictional character, Jeremy Brett's Sherlock Holmes, I have a huge platonic crush on him. When it comes to these feelings that I'm feeling when I see him on screen, it's interesting because I get really like, I think I get that like fan moments when you're just like, oh my god, he's hot, oh no, what do I do? It's interesting because it's not in any way sexual in my part. Like, I do not see him in a sexual way at all or in a romantic way. But that's really interesting because these chemical reactions or whatever, I can kind of like feel them when it comes to him, but it's not like sexual.
If you're feeling a bit euphoric just at the mere sight
Hell
of them,
yes.
and it gets even more intense when they look at you, it
Oh my god,
may just be sexual tension.
I'm so glad that there's only maybe a couple of scenes where in the show they break the fourth wall and Brett is looking directly at the camera. Every time, a couple of times that happens, I'm like, okay, don't look at me. Like, I'm like, the reaction is so weird because it's so weird. I don't know what's happening to me. You know, that kind of stuff?
Always on your mind. You just can't seem to get distracted.
This is the point when I was
They're
starting to
always on your
laugh,
mind.
like,
Do
actually
they
so
randomly
hard.
pop up in your thoughts? When they're there,
Oh my
do you have a
god.
difficult time focusing?
Yes.
Do you find yourself lost in a daydream
It's so
about
hard.
them? Sure, crushes
It's so
can fall into your
difficult.
daydreams, but when there's sexual tension as well, it may be even more
Oh
difficult to
my
stay
god,
focused
I
when
can
they're
relate so
around.
hard.
If they're always on your mind, you may even bring them up to others all the time.
Mm-hmm.
An article from Healthline explains that if you keep bringing them up in convos that really have nothing to do with them, it's called mentionitis. And if you have sexual tension with someone, chances are you're guilty of it. Guilty or not guilty?
So guilty.
How do they hug you?
Yeah, that's like, I remember it was so distracting when I was working during summer and there was a lot of office stuff that I would be just sitting down on a computer. It was basically me filling database stuff on the database. And it was pretty laid back thing, so my mind just kind of could go. I listened a lot of music as well, which helps with daydreaming, but sometimes I just catched myself just staring at the screen, not doing anything. And I've been like daydreaming about a character or characters, and I'm like, no, 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 you have to work, just focus. And it just happened so many times that I was just spacing out.
Rachel Hoffman explained to Insider that when someone likes you, he'll put his hands around your back when he's talking, or maybe he guides you through a crowded bar. She adds that if he reaches for your hand, then you can almost guarantee that he's into you. Another way to possibly see if they feel sexual tension is to see how long their hugs last with you.
Would it be so
Is it
nice
a
to
lingering
have a
hug on
hug
their
from a
end,
fictional
a brush of
character?
the hand afterwards,
Not in
or
a
a quick
sexual
pat
way
on the
or
back with
romantic
no
way,
eye
just
contact?
have a nice warm
Touch can be
hug.
very important when it comes to initial sexual tension.
Which character would
If
you
you
like
like
to
them,
have a hug
you're
from?
hoping for the
Tell
lingering
me in
hug,
the
folks.
comments. I'm just telling you to go
Why
to
am
the
I
comments,
smiling?
sorry.
Why are you so funny?
This one, oh
They
my
tell an
gosh.
unfunny joke, yet somehow you can't stop smiling and laughing.
This happens
Researcher
so
and
many
award-winning
times.
sex educator Justin Limiller, PhD, explains in Men's Health that when people feel an overwhelming attraction to each other, a lot of positive effects tend to be exchanged, and that includes frequent smiles. Even simply looking at your crush makes you smile. You can't help but feel that energy, that tension, and smile at the first sign of eye contact, unless you've already shyly turned away. Limiller also explains that smiling is a natural response when someone makes you feel good, and it creates this feedback loop where one person smiles and that gets the other to smile even more. Limiller notes, it's also the case that when you're really into another person, you tend to think all of their jokes are funnier. So that's why there's suddenly a comedian in your life.
Also, when a character is a complete asshole, you still think that they are really adorable. Or they are an evil psychopath murderer. Sometimes you just catch yourself thinking about a character and you just like kind of go, nice.
Awkward or flirty? If you notice your crush flirting with you, you're off to a good start. Maybe there's some lighthearted flirty teasing, or maybe they often compliment you with some flirty eye contact. But what if they're naturally shy? What if you're naturally shy? That may leave you with less flirty interactions initially, and a few moments of still silence between the both of you. And then suddenly you're asking yourself, is this sexual tension? It's a bit awkward, but you still feel a spark between the two of you. You could always ask them first, but if you'd first like a hint as to what they might be feeling, view the situation unbiasedly and look for those smiles and giggles, as well as those gazes and lingering touches. Notice their body language and how they react before assuming your feelings mean they.
This is kind of like a shipping thing if you're shipping two characters, and especially if characters are like queer baited. This really reminds me of how many times I'm just talking about Sherlock Holmes. I'm so sorry. It's my current hyper focus, okay? But every time these two look at each other and you catch them like looking at each other in such a loving way, it just warms your heart.
Do they look uncomfortable? Or are they smiling and meeting your gaze? But most importantly, know that awkwardness isn't always a bad sign. In fact, those moments of silence or awkward pauses between the both of you, opening up about yourselves, can foster intimacy. According to psychotherapist Dr. David Brocher, the birth of intimacy is often awkward. We put ourselves on the line by revealing our innermost thoughts and feelings. We make ourselves vulnerable to painful rejection. If we are too afraid of appearing awkward, we may keep others at a distance. We may also find we attract those who would rather keep things superficial. So perhaps it's best to enjoy that silent moment after a nice flirt. That way you can really sense the sexual tension if it's present. Be sure to look out for their body language as well. Are they smiling enthusiastically, flirting, or are they shifting uncomfortably in their seat? Looking towards the door, avoiding eye
Now
contact
this
at all
feels like a
costs?
shipping
Let's
advice
hope they think you're an amazing comedian instead.
video.
So, do you think there's sexual tension between you and your crush? Share with us in the comments down below. When in doubt, just ask them if they're as attracted to you as you are to them. Or
This is like, do you think you could ship these characters or like these things to notify if you wonder if these characters could be in love, you know? This sounds so funny. I mean, if you look through these videos through a certain lens, they become really funny really quickly. Okay, lastly, we are going to figure out what your type of crush says about you. I'm gonna call myself out so hard on this one, and possibly you as well, so let's buckle up.
Have you ever had a crush on someone but didn't know why? Or wondered why you're attracted to a specific type of person? Well, you're certainly not alone. For decades, psychologists have been trying to analyze and understand the complex processes that govern the laws of love and attraction. As a quick disclaimer, we want to note that this video is created for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken too seriously.
Oh,
With
I'm gonna
that
take
said,
it seriously.
here are 6 of the most common types of crushes
call
and
everyone
what your
out.
type of crush says about you. Number 1, the baddie with a soft side.
Oh, yeah.
Does your crush break the rules and get themselves into trouble? Even so, do you find yourself believing that their bad behavior is due to some hidden pain only you can ease?
Oh, yes, the traumatized.
Though
type.
romances like these are usually the stuff of movies and novels, this type of attraction could speak of an unhealthy need for validation from people who are emotionally unavailable to you. If you're crushing on a baddie with a soft side, you are sensitive, sheltered, and soft-spoken, and are harboring a hidden desire for reckless fun, adventure, and rebellion.
I mean, I would say that for me personally, that would be Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders. He is a terrible person. I know that. But I really love that show because it basically explores how violence and trauma affects you. I know that this video is going to be one of those that I can place at least one character in each of these types. We'll see.
The shy, mysterious type. Do you like the shy, mysterious type? If you have a crush on this type of person, you think that there's so much more to them than meets the eye. With their unassuming, easygoing, and calm nature, you find yourself attracted to this type of person because you like a good mystery. You're excited by the thrill of the chase, with a desire to pursue someone who might just turn around and surprise you. Number 3, the intelligent.
I would place for the second one possibly Connor from Assassin's Creed 3. He's very stoic, he's very calm, and he's just very depressed. And therefore he's kind of mysterious. I can already see the next one is going to be exactly my type because I know for a fact that I am attracted to intelligence. So this is gonna call me out so bad.
3, the intelligent type.
Oh yeah.
Do you prefer brains over brawn?
Yes.
Then you are attracted to the intelligent type.
Yes.
You like people, not for their looks or
Yes.
their appearance, but for their wit,
Absolutely.
charisma, and meaningful
Oh
conversation.
yes.
You're attracted to people who have a beautiful mind.
Yes.
Someone you can spend hours and hours talking to without ever getting bored because they always have a lot of fascinating topics to discuss. According to psychology, people with higher IQs also have better paying jobs, more social connections, sophisticated lifestyles, and a better overall quality of life, making intelligence a very attractive trait. Number 4.
But that depends also because there's also studies that showcase how people who are more intelligent probably are most likely to have mental illnesses. But yes, that was exactly my type. Like, I don't care about what you look like. I mean, I do have like types of what kind of people I'm interested in. But when it comes to intelligence, for example, I have a huge crush on, well, Sherlock Holmes is really big brain, but another big brain that I would love to have like hours and hours of conversations would be Robert Langdon. And that is also a very aromantic, asexual attraction. Like, I just want to grab a coffee with this guy and just let him talk about symbols and history. And I would be just hard eyes the whole time and just like being really happy. I love watching video essays on YouTube. I love hearing people having academic discussions. I love studying in university. It just brings me so much joy and I feel so light and fluffy. I love this so much. This is where I belong. So I think it makes a lot of sense that I would be attracted to a person, people who are intelligent. Like, it makes sense because I'm just interested in those topics a lot. But yes, that was like every single point. Tick. Let's move on.
Number 4, the best friend type. Do you often find yourself falling for your friends? Do you start to develop feelings for someone only after you've gotten close to them? As your friendship deepens, does your attraction for them grow too? If you tend to crush on your closest friends, then that just goes to show how sweet, idealistic, and pure-hearted you are. In your eyes, all the best romances start with friendship. More than just chemistry and passion, you crave intimacy, commitment, understanding, and emotional connection in all your relationships. You want someone who's always there for you, someone you can trust, and someone you're comfortable around. You want a partner who's also your best friend. Number 5.
But that's also if you're in a romantic, asexual spectrum, I think it's demisexual. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that's also like if you're in the spectrum of I cannot literally feel any romantic and or sexual attraction to someone if I don't know them first. Like, we need to have that friendship or something, like I actually know them. And I think I have been wondering if I could be in the spectrum because, as I said before, like I haven't really had any meaningful, deep connection, crushes on real life people, like, you know, light ones and everything like that. But when it comes to also fictional characters, I was wondering about this, like why I tend to go towards masculine characters, men, because I identify as pansexual. So for me, it doesn't matter at all. Gender does not play any significant role in it. But I wonder it's because I guess it's the media that I'm surrounding myself with. And men are generally written better. They are just written in more nuanced way. You get to know them better. And I guess if I'm playing video games, most of the main characters are men. And I guess the TV shows and movies that I really love, like Sherlock Holmes, most of the characters are men. So I think that's the reason why I'm more attracted to men. Not necessarily masculinity, but men, because they are just written better. I also started to think about it as well of like side characters. For example, Lady Dimitrescu from Resi Village. I love her so much, but I don't have that kind of a deep crush on her. It's not that deep because you don't really see her that much. You read a couple of files, and then most of the time, apart from a couple of cinematic scenes, you are just running away from her and hoping that she's not going to slice you into pieces. But I wonder if we could have like a TV show or something, or if I read fanfiction or something like that of her, then maybe I would kind of develop a meaningful and deep connection and crush on her that would feel different, you know? This video is basically like me realizing that I'm in a spectrum. I mean, I'm thinking about it, but I don't want this video to be about asexuality and aromanticism, and I don't want to babble too much, but I have been wondering about these things. If you can relate to this, it would be interesting to hear. Or if you are asexual, aromantic, identifying person, it would be interesting to hear your thoughts about this because I'm panicking.
Number 5, a celebrity crush. Do you fantasize about falling in love with your favorite celebrity? Do you want them to sweep you off your feet and whisk you away from your mundane,
Not a
everyday
celebrity.
life?
I think that's kind of
If
creepy.
most of your crushes tend to be
I'm not
celebrities,
judging,
then it
but
means
for me,
you're
it
a
just
hopeless
feels
romantic
weird.
who easily falls in love with people. You quickly get attached to people because you always see the good in everyone. But this also means you tend to idealize your crushes. Your crushes on people you can't attain are more like daydream fantasies, and you use these fantasies to explore what it is you want and don't want in a romantic partner. You are a passionate person who is vocal about your thoughts and feelings. You are expressive, dreamy, and optimistic. And number 6, a fictional character
Oh,
crush.
now we are getting somewhere. Yeah, I guess that celebrity thing, I don't know. I feel kind of uncomfortable about it. If you have a celebrity crush, it's fine. I mean, I do have in that sense of if I know an actor is in a movie or something, I would probably watch it so that I can see the person. Let's just go to fictional character crushes and see what this says.
And number 6, a fictional character crush. Do you like fictional characters?
Hell yes.
Let's be real. Do you have a secret crush on Todoroki from Hero Academia? Or
calling you
Mikasa
out.
from Attack of the Titan? If you have
Everyone
a crush
who
on
has a
someone
crush
who
on
only
these
exists in
characters, you're
books,
called out.
movies, or TV shows, this signifies that you have a very active imagination and that you prefer
Mhm.
fantasy to reality.
Oh yes.
Being that you
Get
have
me
such a rich
outta
inner world,
here.
you happily get lost in it. And most people pale in comparison to your fictional crushes. Your standards are high,
Oh
and you
no.
have a good idea about what you want in your ideal partner.
There it is.
Did you relate to this video? What's your perfect type of person to crush on?
Yeah, like that's also something that I'm kind of worried about. Like, what if my standards are just so high, and that's why I don't really have crushes on real people because you just know fictional characters in that way. What if I'm the problem? Okay, that was all of the videos that I wanted to show and react with you guys. What do you think about this? Did you relate to any of the points? Some of the points? All of them? And in what level when it comes to fictional characters? Also, do share your favorite fictional character crush or your current crush or hyper focus in the comments, and maybe we could find new things, stories, characters, like we could share our hyper focuses. I will link these videos in the description and also the channel that made these if you want to check them out. But I think that's it for this video. I hope this was fun to watch. Thank you so much for watching. My name is GreenCosplay and take care.